You're not supposed to know the real truth about reality. You want to know why? Because you are not going to like it. And there is no telling what you might do. The reason why when things that are bad happen, they are being made to look good. It's so that you don't realize how sick this place is. The reason why they told us that there is this evil force called the devil that doesn't want things to go well in our lives. It's so that when bad things happen, they'll blame the devil. And say it's the devil, it's the devil. But the real truth is that the world is just sick, and that is the truth. You are not going to like the truth about the world that you were born into. There's a reason why those who spoke the real truth in the past were persecuted. Some of them were murdered in the worst way possible, simply for speaking the truth, simply for saying things that actually make sense. What we are being told about this reality makes no sense. If you are wise, you will know that what we are being told about our reality does not make sense. You have to understand that not everyone in this world is wise. Not everyone is capable of seeing things as they are. Most people are very easy to deceive, very arrogant. You tell them the truth, they undermine you, they believe those who are in power. They're still controlled by their primal instinct. As a human, you're supposed to value the opinions of those who are powerful. Those who are still controlled by their primal instincts are going to believe those who are powerful no matter what they say. It was important for your survival, back then. But now, it isn't. The problems that we're facing are actually bigger than survival. What is important now is to understand what reality is to understand what we are surviving for. What is happening that we are not seeing, that we're not able to see? Why are we not being told the truth? Why is there so much suffering in the world? We're talking about unnecessary suffering here. We're not talking about humanity working together and making sacrifices for the future. We're not talking about humans building pyramids. I don't know why they build pyramids. Really, when you think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense to think that it's humans that build the pyramids, but let's say they did. we are not suffering because we are trying to build the pyramids. No, 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 no. We are suffering because of corruption. We are suffering because of inequality. We are suffering because those who are in power are not making the right decisions for us who are under them. We are suffering because of human nature. We're suffering because of reality itself. This is pointless suffering. There is nothing that you're going to gain from the suffering that you're enduring now as a sentient being. If you do not have a job, you're poor, you can't afford basic things that you want. You are not learning anything from that. That is not making you a better person. That is not making you more conscious. You are just suffering. If you are sick, you can't pay for your medication and it gets worse because you're getting no medication. There is nothing that you're gaining from that. That is suffering, but it's pointless suffering. There's nothing that you're going to gain. You're not going to become a better person. You're not going to become enlightened. You're not going to be more kind. You're not going to figure out what the real solutions are. You know what I'm saying? You are just suffering. So we're talking about a world where there's so much suffering that people can see that, okay, this is just unnecessary, right? It's not supposed to be this, like this. And you can't tell a person who's suffering how to stop suffering because it's not even their fault. We're talking about a hellish experience because the suffering that people are enduring now is not the suffering that they caused. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's making this world hell. Is that you as a person who was born in this reality without your consent, now you're experiencing a lot of suffering and you don't know what to do. You didn't cause this kind of suffering. You know, there's just so much suffering in the world. You actually suffer for existing, right? And you don't know what to do. You don't know if you should believe in some God. You don't know if you should pray. You don't know if you should fast. You don't know if you should practice semen retention. You don't know if you should meditate 24/7. You don't know if you should take psychedelics. You don't know what to do because really everything that seems like a solution is temporary. You know, you still come back to this thing that we call reality. It pulls you back. You know, you could have an awesome psychedelic experience, but where you're coming back, yeah, you still got to deal with reality. You know, you could meditate for a very long time, but you still gotta be human. You still gotta come back. You still gotta eat. You still gotta drink water. You still gonna get horny. You still gonna desire things. It's part of being a human. You know, it's not something that you can just override like that. You know, desires are always gonna be there. You know, you might conquer one desire and you think I'm good, and then now there's another desire. You know, you might practice semen retention, for an example, but you find that you are addicted to something else. You're addicted to alcohol. You know, that's how you cope. You're addicted to smoking. That's how you cope. You're addicted to TikTok. That's how you cope. You know, you're addicted to you're addicted to material things. You know, that's how you cope. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're always buying every time when they release new sneakers. If you got money, you're buying. Every time they release a new phone, if you got money, you're buying. You're addicted to those things. And if you don't have money, you keep on checking online who's got these things, and you admire these people. You know, you're chasing these things that you can't even have, right? A lot of people read ancient books and they think they obtained esoteric knowledge, but they don't realize something. These books were written by people like them. Yes, because some of these books are ancient, you might think, oh, this is esoteric knowledge, But these books are popular for a reason. They're not popular because there is something that you're going to actually learn from them. They're popular because they will distract you. Like in the end, you could read all these books and you sound very intelligent. You sound like Forbidden Thoughts. What was the name of this guy that was debating Westhoff? Keep on forgetting his name, man. Keep on forgetting his name. But he read a lot of ancient books about the Archons, about the Anunnakis, about Gnosticism, about different religions. You think that is making him wise, but it does the opposite. It confuses him more. What we need to realize at this point as conscious beings is that you don't obtain knowledge by reading ancient stuff. It doesn't help in any way. You could read about the Anunnakis. Yeah, the Anunnakis came from planet Nibiru and they wanted gold. So they decided that they're gonna turn us into slaves, but they didn't want us, they wanted us to be able to, they wanted us to be intelligent enough to be able to take command, but not to be intelligent enough to rebel. But one of them, one of the engineers decided that they're gonna take it a bit further and see our potential, like what we can become, and that is why we exist, and there's a war, this invisible war that is being fought, to keep us in a low state of consciousness, but there are forces that are fighting for us to be liberated and all that. Like, that doesn't help you. Those are just stories. They don't actually help you. That is why, if you've been watching my videos, I don't like to talk about this kind of stuff. It's not like I don't know about this kind of stuff. I don't think there's anything of value that you're going to learn. It's just stories. It's just like if you watch the movie The Matrix, yes, if there is already something within you that already knew what is going on, watching movies like The Matrix will bring it out. Do you get what I'm saying? What's hidden within will be brought into light if you watch movies like The Matrix. If you read books about the Anunnakis, yes, but it's something that is within. It's not something that you learn from other sources. You are truly the source. You've been here for too long to want to rely on other sources to tell you what reality really is. If you're watching my videos, I don't think you're 10. I don't think you're 13, You're 18, you're 20, you're 35, you are 84. You know what I'm saying? You are old enough to have a clue what is really going on based on what you are seeing, based on how you have experienced life. And you need to be brave enough to say, this is really what I think. Yes, the world is saying this. Yes, everyone is saying this. But none of it makes sense to me. this really is what is making sense to me, and I'm going to be brave enough, and I think I'm doing the right thing by believing what really makes sense to me. I'm not going to believe something because you're you using fear to make me believe it. You're telling me that if I don't believe it, there's gonna be consequences. If I don't think like you, there's gonna be consequences. If I don't feel like you, there's gonna be consequences. To me, the most important thing is that I figure out what is really going on. Because another thing that is true that most of us are failing to acknowledge is that you don't know what other people's intentions are in your life. Those who are telling you things that don't make sense, those who are emotionally blackmailing you, those who are making you afraid, to question things. They make you feel guilty for questioning. You don't know who they really are and what their real intentions are. I do not believe that a person who will tell you not to trust your instinct has good intentions for you. I don't believe that. I'll tell you what I think the real truth is, but you still gotta trust your instinct. Especially if you've done enough work. But even if you have not done enough work, it's your intuition that you gotta trust. Because you know what you really want. A lot of people, when I'm talking to them about what is actually going on in the world, they think I've read a lot of books. But like, not really. I don't read. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of reading. But like, oh, it means you've watched a lot of videos. I watch videos, but there's very few channels, and it's philosophy channels, really. I learn from my experiences. I remember telling y'all yesterday about how people are being exploited by these Uber apps, right? How drivers are being exploited, how we don't really have a say, because in countries like South Africa, unemployment is very high. These apps are making a lot of money off us because we don't really have a choice. Like, people are being taken advantage of, and they are living like slaves. So I compared that to life itself. I was like, the way these apps are treating us is the same way life is treating us, and they're treating us the way that they're treating us because we don't really have a choice. You see, when you have a choice, you are treated better. That's something that you got to realize. If you actually have a choice, you will be treated better. The people who are not being treated well are the people who do not have a choice. If your boss knows that you can get a job tomorrow, he would treat you better than he's treating you. But if your boss feels like you don't really have a choice here, do you? This is all you got. So you gotta treat it like it's all you got. You gotta listen to me when I say jump, jump. Because I'm the reason you're getting paid. I'm the reason you are able to put food on the table. If I fire you, it's over for you. So you gotta take me that seriously. It's the way that reality is treating us. It's like, you don't have a say. You can't ask questions. You can't be real. You can't seek real freedom. You can't be authentic. People have given up, and it's gotten to a point where they've normalized being abused. Like, for example, the systems that govern us in our countries, we've allowed them to abuse us. We're talking about real abuse, and not much is being done. They might say, okay, let's go on strike, but it doesn't even help. People will go on strike for like 2 days, 3 days, and it's over. The government still wins, and it does what it wants to do to them. you know. And it also makes you question, who are the people that are behind government? Are they like us? Are they regular people like us, or there's more to it? You know, maybe the forces that want to control reality are using governments to control us, you know? They come up with laws that are going to make it nearly impossible for a human to actually think freely, you know? They ban content online that enables people to think in a new way, you know. So if you drop a video on YouTube that makes people think, they immediately remove it and they find a reason to remove it. But if you drop a video that is total nonsense, they'll be like, yeah, this is a great video. But really, if you want to talk about, you know, content that is dangerous, you actually realize that everything that is being published online is actually dangerous. I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. Everything that is being published online is actually dangerous. So if we wanted to create a world that is actually fair, all opinions are allowed, and we see which opinions are better. We don't say, okay, no, these kind of opinions are not allowed. If you're going to say this goes against our guidelines, and you find that it's less harmful than what is being allowed. This reminds me of something Bill Burr said. He's like, how is war still legal? Like, I can't believe that war is legal. You know, I can't call a fat fuck anymore, but war is legal. Now, I'm not saying it's good to body shame people, but when you look at what is legal and what is not legal, you'd realize that this is a system of control, right? It has nothing to do with making the world a better place. And there's a reason why the world is not a better place. There's a reason why war still exists and is allowed. And you think that it's not. You think we are actually doing enough to get rid of war. Nothing is actually being done, you know. It's actually allowed. It's not even because some countries are more powerful than other countries. It has nothing to do with that. It's being allowed, you know. Those who are at the top are playing us big time, you know. Because these are the people who, it is something that you gotta realize, and it's very important what I'm about to tell you. These people who are in power, they hang together. Do you understand? They're not gonna hang with Benedict Time. Like, oh, there's some kid named Benedict Time from village. You know, he's broke as hell. I'm gonna hang with him. No, they hang with people on their level. They hang with their so-called enemies. Those are the people who are on their level, right? They know a lot of secrets about each other. How? Because that is why people like Epstein, for an example, he knew a lot of rich people. Like, you think, like, what kind of coincidence is that? Like, do you think they just allow just anybody into their cycles? Like, they're not just gonna just allow like just anyone. There are people that they like. These people know each other. They know each other. They ain't gonna just invite you like a nobody. It doesn't work that way. They know each other. They've met each other. They know each other's secrets. They've done things together. So you really think that when it comes to war, they don't agree on some things secretly? They don't have secret meetings? If you've worked for government, you know that if you are supposed to be saving people, there has to be some secrets. There are some things that you can't just talk about with like a regular person. There has to be secrets. The real esoteric knowledge about reality is that it is not good, and it wasn't created for a good reason. It was created for a very bad reason. And if we knew the truth about that, there is no telling what we'll do. That's what it all boils down to. It's not a you don't have to read like different ancient books. It doesn't matter. You just have to realize that this is evil. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the world is way sicker than you even realize. You're just not aware of a lot of things that are happening. What has been brought to light about this reality recently is nothing compared to what is actually being done. Do you get what I'm saying? Talk about the Epstein files. Yeah, they are sick. Bro, it's much worse. It's much, much worse. I remember 2 days back, I was walking in the street and I saw water like that filled up the street that smelled like pee and shit. And I thought they can change this water into drinkable water. And that's when it hit me. There is nothing that is impossible. Everything that you can think is possible. And it's already possible. Give you a very simple example. Cloning. I don't know why we're not having enough conversations about cloning. They can clone dogs. They can clone dogs. Your DNA is so special that you can't be cloned. If they can clone dogs, what's so different? What's so special about you? If a lion saw you, it's gonna eat you the same way that it will eat a pig. Wait, do lions eat pigs? Probably do. If they can clone a dog, if they can clone a cat, if they can clone uh, a rat, then they can clone you. And if they can clone humans, ain't they already doing that? Why will they not use every resource that they have to their advantage? Why will they be like, I'm playing fair? Why will they be like Battle Beast? If you've watched, if you've read the Invisible comics, when Battle Beast first fought Thrag, not first, the second time when he fought Thrag, Thrag was already injured, so he injured himself so that the game will be, the fight will be fair. So okay, you injured, I'm gonna injure myself the same way that you injured. So no, they don't play fair. Like, things are not what they say. Like, people are living in the dark, but like, they're in the dark about what is really really going on. Like, human cloning is impossible. You're like, no, man. Obviously, that is already happening. Obviously, there are people who are being cloned. Like, you watch movies like they cloned Tyrese. it makes you realize how they would do it if it was possible. And based on what we know so far, it makes complete sense to think that it's already being done. We've seen pictures of people who were powerful many years ago, and they look like some of the people who are powerful now. You're like, huh? That's the guy that's in power now. Like, literally, that's the guy. What's going on here? Nothing is impossible, you know? You know too much to think that there are things that are impossible. I gotta repeat what I've just said. You know too much to think that there are things that are actually impossible. You're watching me on your device right now. That is possible. Tell me what could be impossible. I live in South Africa, very far away from where you live. You are watching me. If I was live, you'll be watching me and we'll be interacting. You want to tell me there is something that is actually impossible? I will see you on my screen. I'll see your face on my screen. We will talk as if we were together right now. And you want to tell me that there is something that they cannot do? They can do anything. They are just only allowing us to know what they want us to know for now. And not because they really want us to know anything, but because for whatever they're trying to do to work, we must know what they want us to know. Like, they're giving us technology that they've been using forever. You think about artificial intelligence. You think that they've not been using artificial intelligence to create videos? Really? And is this the best vision of artificial intelligence that is available? What they're giving us right now? Oh, they got AI that can make full movies. They got AI that can make great music. They got AI that controls reality itself. If I told you about artificial intelligence in 1920, would you believe that something like that would be possible? Like, there would be. I remember when I first watched AI Robot, I think it was 2002. There's a guy who came to our school. We paid money, like we pay money to watch movies. So there's a guy who came to our school and he had the thing. What is it called? Projector. You know, we paid to watch movies. So he would go from school to school, you know, talking to the principal, saying, "Yo, I want your kids to watch a movie. They're gonna pay this amount. You're gonna make this amount, you know." So, because at the time, you know, we liked movies and we didn't have access to movies at the time. So I remember we watched iRobot. It was still a new movie. Was it 2002? When was iRobot released? It was released in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. So it was still a new movie. So it might have been 2003, not 2002. I remember when we first watched it, we enjoyed it. So the guy said they're saying that by 2030, these kind of robots will actually exist. I remember thinking that's just impossible. Like a robot like Sunny. No. That is impossible because that robot is more intelligent than humans. You know. But look at artificial intelligence now, bro. We got AI on our phones. You can talk to artificial intelligence and it can. I remember there's this chick. She's using, I don't know if it's Chat GPT or what, but she's asking it some of the most important questions about existence, and the answers that it's giving her are deeper than answers that I've had from anyone. You know, you watch different YouTube videos, no one is like really telling you what this AI is telling her. You're like, that's deep and that's really possible. You know, if she says, tell me something unhinged about reptilians, and the AI will say something that will blow your mind, something that will make you go like, huh? Tell me something about the Anunnakis, you know? Tell me something about reincarnation. Tell me something about samsara. Tell me something about Gnostics. Tell me something about like Lushvan theory. Tell me something about destiny swapping. Tell me something about politics. Tell me, you know. So what's really impossible? So I want you to realize this. If anything is possible, it means what is allowed to happen is actually, it's not even just being allowed, it's actually being caused to happen. Meaning the world is exactly what they want it to be. And this thing of telling yourself that there's someone who wants to save you, no, the reality itself is evil, that no one is actually trying to save you right now. Like, listen, I want you to get this, right? Yes, there are, on every level, there are beings that are good, right? At our level of experience, there are some humans that have the best interests of animals. Like, you know what, the way that we're treating them, but we're not gonna save them. This reality is controlled by evil. So yes, on every level, it may seem like, oh, there's someone who's gonna come and save us. You know, we just need to be good. We just need to wait. No. Think of how animals are being treated and ask yourself, am I that special? That there's someone who's gonna save me? They're not even telling us anything about our reality, and we are capable of understanding. It's not like a dog. You know, you try to explain to a dog what is really going on, it doesn't, you can't even communicate with it, you know. But they can communicate with us, they can tell us something, they can show us something, but we're not being shown the truth about reality. And you think it's all good, you know, you're just negative, Benedictine, you know, you can't be saying the things that you've been saying. You're negative because really things ain't as bad as you think. I think I saw a comment from this guy, is a Muslim. He was saying it feels like I'm unappreciative, right? I do not appreciate this, you know, and he's bothered by that because I should be appreciating this. You know, it's not like things are too bad for me to not appreciate. How about, this is not even about appreciation, lack of appreciation. This is about what is going on behind the scenes. You know, if there was a person who's doing something that is really evil, but they're also doing something that seems good, but so that they can be able to do more of the evil stuff that they're doing. It would be like if you were a drug dealer and you were also donating to charity. You're not donating to charity because you're doing like this out of the goodness of your own heart. No. You're doing that so that you will maintain a good image, so that they won't try to investigate you, you know? Like, oh, this is a good person, you know, that's a good person. But you're not doing that because you're a good person. You're doing that so that you will be able to do more evil stuff that you're already doing. So when I look at reality, that is what I see, you know? When I look at the gods that people believe in, that's what I see. People like, you're not appreciating. Look at the good things. Yeah, the things that you consider to be good have to exist so that more evil things will be done. If there was nothing that that seems good in this reality, most of y'all would have woken up by now. You would have realized, oh no, this is super horrible. We can't keep on justifying this. This is too evil, right? So the good stuff it's like this. It's like this reminds me of this video. It's an animated video. So there was this rat that found some cheese. So it's telling its friends, oh, you guys don't want to eat this cheese. Oh, this cheese is nice. Continue to eat the cheese. And the another rat asked, yo, where did you get it? Where did you get this cheese? Like, yo, I found it here. And we're like, yo, you just found it here? Yeah, the guy that lives in this house left it here. They're like, okay, the guy that was trying to kill us last week, he just left it here. He's like, yeah, he just left it here. And then he started to cough, and he became very unstable, and he died. His friends knew that there had to be a catch. He can't just be given the good stuff like that, you know. So that's how it works in this reality itself. You're given the good stuff, but there's a catch. You're not just given the good stuff like, you know, for good reasons. No, you're given the good stuff for bad reasons. You know, you're given sex for a bad reason, not for a good reason. You know, if you're an intellectualist, you understand this perfectly. I've made videos explaining why it doesn't make sense that sex is super enjoyable and we don't have that much control, and a person can be born after that, right? Like you see an attractive person, you're attracted to this person, you know, you can't control yourself, you know, you want to experience pleasure with them, and then okay, it happens and you experience pleasure. A few months later, it's possible that a baby will be born. Isn't that some kind of trap? You know, like, think about it. Bringing a child into this world is a big deal. You know, it's really a big deal. So you can't just have a child because you had sex. It had to be something that you plan. You're like, I really want a child, and the process must be clear. You know, you must know what you're really doing. You know, it mustn't be something that will just shock you. You know, you get a call after a one-night stand. Yeah, I'm pregnant. You're like, what? Yeah, and I'm keeping the baby. You know, God says I must keep the baby. Yeah, what? And now you're a father. Now you brought someone into this realm, you know? So it tells you something about the good stuff. And you also must understand that the good stuff, there's a price. There's always someone that's going to pay the price for the good stuff, you know? Like, someone has to suffer for you to get the good stuff. It's not like you just get the good stuff out of nowhere. Someone has to suffer. That is why for you to have a nice burger, there had to be many animals that had to be treated like shit and that died horribly. It's how it works, and that tells you something, because it works like that on every level. That is why I keep on telling you that this is evil, and true esoteric knowledge includes this information that I'm giving you right now. You know, like, you gotta understand first that this reality is actually evil. Like, it's not, you know, what you are being told or what you are being shown. You know, and not everyone can understand that. You know, you talk to someone who is still a child in consciousness, they're not really gonna understand you. You know, they'll think you're crazy. They'll think you are the one who's evil. You know, but it's really the truth. It's something that is very obvious. You know, when you reach my level of understanding, you see the truth everywhere you go. You know, and you know that it isn't something that people are going to like. You're like, I get it. I get why people don't know the truth about this. They're not going to like it. So people think they like reality because they don't know the truth about it, right? So you think you love it. Yeah, I like it, yeah, all of that. Yeah, you're naive, right? like people who like guys that are manipulating, like powerful men that are running the world, that are manipulating them, and you can see the truth about these men, but they don't see the truth about these men. And you tell them that, okay, no, that guy, he's been doing these horrible things, and they don't believe you. And you're like, okay, if you knew the truth, and then they got to know the truth about this person, and they don't like the person anymore, you're like, yeah, you never actually liked this person. You just didn't know enough about them, so you thought you liked them, right? The truth about reality is horrible, man. The beginning of all knowledge really is first realizing that all of this is evil, right? If you're going to build your interpretation of what is going on a belief that this is good, you get it wrong. Like, your conclusions will be wrong. Like, you are totally gonna get it wrong, because the most horrible things will happen, and you'll tell yourself, "Yeah, it happened because there was a mistake." Nah, it didn't happen because there was a mistake. It happened because it was supposed to happen. This would be like if you were living with an abuser who realized you were smart and you could run away. So they still abused you, but they make it look like it's an accident. It's not supposed to happen like that. Like, they get it and they apologize. Like, it was a mistake, and they realize that you keep on forgiving them. You believe them that, it's a mistake. It's not supposed to be good. It can't be good. It can't be perfect. Human beings make mistakes and all of that. So that's what we end up believing. Like, we look at reality and we're like, it cannot be perfect. No, it can be. It's not perfect because it's not supposed to be. That is why the most horrible things happen. And you find people saying, "Oh, God is good all the time, all the time. God is good." You're like, huh? Did you see what happened? Yeah, it's God's will. It's what God wanted. Why will He want that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what would you want that? Just because it's what He wanted doesn't make it good. God can want to do evil things. So just because it's what He wanted doesn't mean that it's good. God is not even what you think it is. It's there are forces behind reality that are doing evil things in the name of God, because you already believe in God. So they are taking credit for, because they can bend reality for what you call God. They're not even gods. It's just forces that are more powerful than you are, that understand more than you do. So they act like they are these gods that human beings believe in. So human beings, no matter what they do, they be like, they are good. No, they're not. They be doing super horrible things. So the most naive people are the ones who believe in these gods and that think that these gods are good. And the ones that are less naive are the ones that know that, okay, these things are not good, but we can work with them. Like, they need sacrifice. Okay, fine, we'll give them what they want, so that they'll give us what we want, right? Good deal, right? Because those who believe they're good are also making sacrifices, but they're doing it in the dark. Like, they don't understand how evil these entities are. And then the ones who know, they have an idea, they get it, so they know exactly what to do, right? They reach an agreement with these beings. I'm gonna give you this. We wonder why a lot of evil things are happening in the world, unexplainable things. It has to do with what these people have agreed to. There are things about the world they're not supposed to change. It's very powerful people. They're not changing anything about the world. We're talking about billionaires. I mean, yes, we're selfish as humans, but you can't be that selfish. Like, there's levels. There's a level that you reach. You just can't be that. When you're that rich, you're a billionaire. You want to do good things. Like doing good things is not even gonna like be a difficult thing for you, and but that's what you automatically want. You have the power to make someone happy. It's like you think of magicians like don't like David Blaine, right? He can perform magic. What does he want? What puts a smile on his face? It's seeing another person smiling. It's seeing a person happy because he's just performed a trick. That's what puts a smile on our faces as humans. If you can help someone and it doesn't really cost you that much, or it costs you nothing, you can put a smile on someone's face, but it costs you nothing. You'll do it, and you'll do it more often than real, because you already have everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're already a billionaire, you got it all. You cool, randomly decide to make someone happy. You're like, there's a person who wants a house. They don't have their own house. They've been wanting a house. I want to surprise them, just to see them. And humanity, we want that. I remember there's The Rock did something for these MMA fighters from Zimbabwe. I think his name is Temba something. Um, he said I think he was signed to the UFC in 2023. He was winning at the time when The Rock, decided to help him. So he surprised him by buying him a house. And I think he gave him some money. You could see that he's enjoying doing that, and you could see how people reacted to that. Like, we thought that was beautiful. We liked that, right? It's how humanity reacts to these kind of things. Like, if you truly had real power, you would want to make people's lives better. Like, people want that. I know we're selfish. Yes, it is 100% true. We are selfish. I'm selfish too. But, bro, like, I remember telling you that there's a dog where I live. When I eat something that I think, okay, it can eat, right? Maybe it will enjoy it. It will eat. I make sure that I give it, even if I've not done eating. I'm like, okay, it can eat that. Let me give it. Let's see if it's gonna eat it. And then if it eats, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful, right? I want to see it happy. I want to see it wiggle its tail. Like, when it sees me, it has expectations, and I want to make it happy because I have power. You know, when people eat like meat and they leave bones and all of that, I'm there, taking the bones, giving it to the dog, right? I want to see it happy. I want to see it wiggle its tail because I have the power. I'm like, okay, it's suffering because it's tied to its doghouse, and it can't move a few meters away from, and it sucks, but it likes food, and it's always gonna eat. So why not give it food if I can? Because I do have that kind of power. Another dog cannot feed it like that, but I can. I do have that kind of power. So that's how we are. We're selfish, but not as selfish as we may seem, right? We're very, very selfish. We are straight selfish. We're straight up selfish, right? But we still want to see people smiling because of us. We still want to see people happy because of us. So why are these people not trying their best to make sure that we are happy, surprise us sometimes? It's simply because they are working with that, being told by some forces that they mustn't help. Because things are going to be good in the world, and they're not going to benefit to what they were benefiting, right? The truth is within you, man. You can't be relying on other people to tell you what is really going on. Let what they're telling you revive the truth that was hidden within you, right? Let what they tell you help you remember. Let the movies that you watch, that with deep meaning, let this movie revive what was once buried within. Let it revive what was buried within, and you will grow. You will reach high levels of consciousness. You will see what is really going on. And like I keep on telling you, you have to trust your own intuition, because you are the only one that you can trust. I don't think people understand what I'm saying when I say this. You are really the only one you can trust in this reality. So that means you got to be the person that you actually trust. You're like, yeah, I might not really know much, I might still be operating at a low level of consciousness, but I'm still the one that I can trust. So let me trust myself. Let me trust my intuition. If I'm going to be wrong, it's fine. It's me who is wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not wrong because I'm being lied to by people. I'm not wrong because I'm being manipulated by people. I'm wrong because I got it wrong. But I'll get it right because, well, that's what I want. It's to get it right. So when you look at the world, what do you really see? Some people will come to the comment section and be like, yeah, this is what the Quran says. This is what the Bible says. This is what this book and that book said. This is what this person said. I'm like, no, tell me what you really think. You're just repeating what you've read from these books. You're just repeating what you've heard the preachers saying. No, tell me what you really think. Because if you're just repeating these things, you don't even make sense. Like this, some of these scriptures are not even helping you at all. You're just repeating the scripture, and he says, whoever believes in me, this and that is gonna happen, and blah blah blah. You just quote these things, and I'll be like, is that esoteric knowledge to you? Like, no. People can feel it when I speak. Those who already had the truth within them, they can feel it, that this is coming from a real place. This is real. This is intellectual honesty. This is wisdom. This is helpful. Because you still gotta understand what the heck is going on. You ain't gotta continuously lie to yourself about what is actually going on in this reality. You have to understand. You have to get it. You can't be coming to this world and live your life and then it's all over and you still don't have a clue what the heck is going on. No, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. It's sad, man, when you think about it. You come into this reality, you don't end up figuring anything about it. Like, you figure out nothing. Just what they're telling you. Hey, the moon is this and that. Hey, the planets are this and that. Hey, the earth is... water is this and that. What have you figured out? Because obviously we're being told nonsense. Alright? Obviously we're being told nonsense about our reality. You can tell. You can tell the things that we're being told ain't helping us. If they tell me that the moon is this and that, how is it helping me? It has to help me. The sun is this and that. What is it helping? You'll realize that it's all BS. They're lying to you, and they make you think you're intelligent because now you understand what the sun is. How the sun was created or how the universe was created. This and that. Like, nah, man, you don't understand nothing. It's fake intelligence. You went to school and they taught you about biology. Now you get it. They don't teach you the most valuable lessons, bro. That is why they don't even ask you what you really think about reality. I don't know if I've ever been asked a question like that when I was still a student. They just tell you what you think. Like, yeah, you gotta think that. If you don't think that, you fail. You gotta think what we want you to think. If you don't think what we want you to think, you will fail. That is your punishment. And if you fail, it means you ain't gonna be successful in this reality. You're gonna be broke. You're gonna see people driving nice cars, your peers driving nice cars, and you will have nothing. And your life is gonna suck because of that. You get punished for being intelligent, for asking real questions. You're not supposed to ask real questions. You know that? You will literally get, your own teachers will punish you if you ask real questions. You ain't gotta be that curious. Like, they don't want you to obtain true wisdom in this reality. They want you to live a lie as if that's gonna help you. It's not gonna help you. It may help you for a while, but in the long run, it's not gonna help you. You're gonna eventually become old and know nothing. And you look back, if you actually become enlightened when you're older, and you look back at all your mistakes and you feel guilty. You gotta trust yourself, and don't just trust yourself. Live a life that supports what you feel intuitively, you know? Like, don't live the way you are being expected to live life as a conscious being. Live life in a way that truly makes sense to you as a conscious being. Live a life that you can explain philosophically. Yeah, the reason why I'm living life this way is because of 1, 2, 3. This is what is making sense to me. Say what you want to say. Persecute me if you want to persecute me. But this is truly what I believe. This is what's truly making sense to me. Right? Be that intellectually honest. And you'll see that the truth has always been within, right? You'll see that the truth has always been within. Can pass. Also, the robots are not working today. This is weird. These robots are always working. Hey. The truth is wicked, man, and there is nothing beautiful about lying to yourself about this reality. It's not weakness to think this is bad. Evil is evil, and you must be operating at a level of consciousness that enables you to recognize evil without trying to justify it. People be justifying evil, man. Being mistreated by life, you're trying to justify that. You're this intelligent person. Yeah, I know why this happened. Like, no, don't let these spiritual teachers lie to you and make you think you're enlightened. You know? Because they've been making people think they're enlightened, right? They've been making people think they're enlightened. See this thing we call reality for what it is, and you will know what to do or how to actually live your life. Like I've been telling you, they don't want you to know the truth because they're afraid of what you might do. But if you are really serious about understanding reality, you will trust yourself. You will look at what is within, what feels true. Yes, Benedictine has said this. This Iliogura has said this. Till Swan has said this. Jesus, they say he said this, he said that. But what really makes sense when I look at reality? Thank you, guys.